What's up, YouTube? It's Sean the Barbarian here, coming at you with another video. Today, as you might have noticed, it's Midnight Hunt pre-release weekend, and Midnight Hunt released Thursday on Arena, and that's what we're going to take a look at. We're going to go over one of my first drafts that happened on my Thursday night stream. We're going to go over the draft picks, and then we're looking at some gameplay, give you my first impressions, some of my draft pick selections, why I picked those things. But overall, just give you a overview of what I think about this set. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. And alrighty, before we get into this draft video, you know what it is. Consider liking and subscribing to this video and channel. It'd help me out greatly. I'm a up-and-coming Magic content creator. I do stream on Twitch most nights, 7 p.m. Pacific. Links will be in the description below. I also have an awesome Discord community, which I invite you all to join. The links will be in the description down below. Let's get into the video. Alrighty, and we're going to be diving straight into the draft. We got it loaded up. Pack 1, pick 1. Boom. So right away, you start seeing the tracker, as I have. It is our pack rare. Honestly, looking back at it, I missed a few things. I didn't realize that there was an Infernal Grasp and a Burn the Accused. Usually in draft, I do like to go for removal early, but this being the first draft, I honestly got very excited. I was like, ooh, rare. I guess I got to pick it. And the Barbarian has a problem. I do fall into the trope of pack 1, pick 1 commits. And as you'll see in this video, as this draft does develop, I do end up going green, white. And I think a lot of it has to do with that I got opened up a pack 1, pick 1 green rare. A 4/3 for 3 with Vigilance is pretty decent. So I'm not too upset with it. It does turn down into a 2/3 when you pop the clue, but it's still pretty good. And then pack 2, I always look at the uncommons. Duelist or Dual Crafter Trainer is a 3/3 with First Strike. First Strike is phenomenal in this set. Don't pass that up. It's always great in Limited to get First Strike. And then Coven, which as you'll see as we get into some gameplay, Coven is a significantly easier mechanic to get off than I initially anticipated. I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, you have just so many stat blocks in this set that you just get into Coven by, not even thinking about it. So giving some Dual Strike, the hell of a combat multiplier, and Coven will be very, very strong. Green White is a very strong one. Pick 3, we just picked the Path of Festival. Nothing really going on. I know I'm a little bit behind, but I like to go off on tangents, as you'll notice from some of my other videos as well. Land Ramp is always good, and also left me open to possibly splash a third color. I don't know if this format can really support a third color, but if there is a color combination that can do it, it's going to be one with green. Pack 4, we picked the Unruly Mob. Unruly Mob is a reprint. Loved that card back in original Innistrad when I first started playing Magic. Was RTR, Innistrad, Standard, and Unruly Mob was in a lot of White Weenie decks, and it's good to see it's back. Might find its way into a White Weenie build in Standard. We'll see what's going on. Pack 5, I was hesitant on whether I wanted the Homestead Courage or the Harvest Tide Sentry. We ended up going with the 3/1 with Coven that allows it to be unblockable by power 2 or less, so they can't be chumped. It's always going to get something a little bit higher than itself. Ended up being a real great common. Pack 6, we went for the Trapper. Tap effects have been historically good in Limited. I really started drafting a lot during Ikoria, which marked, the beginning of quarantine. And that's when I really dove into Limited on Arena. And on that one, there was a human in Ikoria that tapped down stuff. So I ended up going with that. Now, also, one thing I do like to do in draft is I don't like to fully buy in completely. So in that one, I should have, the previous pick, I should have picked the Wolf. But instead I picked the Naturalist. It is green-red. And I was also thinking that I had the path to the festival, so I could splash green if I really needed to. But you always want to give yourself, I'm definitely committed to green. Green-white is also something that we end up doing, but green-red would allow us to get out because we're still in pack 1, so we still got to remember that there's a lot of draft to go. Things can really shake up if you open up a bomb rare pack 2, and it's not too late to switch out of colors during that time, and then we're just right into pack 2. And holy moly, this rare is a bomb. If you see this, you windmill slam and you're in green. 6 mana for a 6/6 that brings 2 wolves on either side, either the daybound side or the nightbound side, is phenomenal. That's 10 power for 6 mana, and it keeps on pumping out duders. Okay. Also, when it's nightbound, so it's on the night side, it becomes a 7/7 that you can use to fight on a stick, which is phenomenal at removing stalled board states. I mean, you'll see in the gameplay, it honestly just, when you play it, it wins games. The next pack, we ended up picking the Survivor. Survivor ends up being really, really good. I do highly recommend it. It's very easy to flip in this format, and when it flips, it recurs stuff out of the graveyard of mana 2 or less. Can't recommend it enough if you're in white. We ended up just picking the big chonkers on pack 3. Can't go wrong playing big dudes, especially this early. I tend to go into the bread and butter or the bread acronym, where it's like bombs, removal, efficiency, aggro, and then dud. Yeah, I think I spelled bread right. You'll have to tell me if I spelled bread wrong. But anyways, big chonkers are always good if you don't have any removal. This pack, we were thinking about picking the Dryad Revival, but I realized that I didn't really have anything I really wanted to get back from the graveyard, I thought. I don't know how good that uncommon is going to be. Instead, we ended up just going to our roots of picking the 5/5 for 5 chonkers that eventually gets trample. Now, this pack was a tough one for me. I really wanted to pick the Signpost uncommon, the Vigilance 3/3 with Coven, but I honestly, after watching a few videos of people play, I saw how good flyers are. So the 3 mana 1/4 with reach ends up being really, really good at allowing you to not just die to flyers. Now, this one I ended up picking removal. The duel for dominance is good, especially if you have high powered creatures, which we do in this deck a little bit, more power than tough creatures. However, as you'll see, I end up missing out that the duel for dominance has Coven for the +1/+1 counter. So please just know that it's 2 mana for a straight up fight, and you have to have Coven to unlock the +1/+1 counter. I end up learning that the hard way. But yeah, so by the end of pack 2, we're definitely green white. So going into pack 3, honestly, all you're doing is you're hoping for some good stuff. We end up opening up a poopy rare. Is not a good rare at all, and then the rest of the pack is kind of not on color for us. I think we end up going with Homestead Courage. That card ended up being fine. Put a +1/+1 counter on, and Vigilance with Flashback for 1. The Flashback has the same cost as the regular casting cost, so you can really just like bop, have 2 things with Vigilance and then swing in. This one, I don't remember what we ended up picking. I think we ended up going with the Stuffed Bear that I don't end up playing. I don't know how good that one is. Or did we go Snarled Wolf? Hold on. Hold chat. Hold. Okay, we did go Snarled Wolf. Okay. Good one drop. Anyways, but on pack 3, honestly, you're just looking for you're in the hunt for hopefully good colors, hopefully some payoff, so hopefully you don't get screwed. Pack 3 can make or break decks, but I think we were pretty well set up. We do end up getting some payoff like this. Dawn Heart Wardens. We passed it up earlier for the 1/4. We end up getting saved, bailed out, rewarded. We get to play both of them now. That card is very good. Next time, I might have flipped those picks. I might have picked the Wardens over the 1/4, but again, only time will tell how this format develops. Green white is really good. Coven is really good. Honestly, the flavor of the set is also super solid. I do think so. Coming from Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, I do think that this set is going to have a little bit of skill ceiling. There is a little bit of controversy I saw on Twitter, the Magic side of Twitter, on Thursday, where people were like, "Oh man, I don't like this, that, and the other." I think that you have to evaluate cards. Daybound and nightbound cards are a little bit, I think they're going to be tough to evaluate fully. And early game, the daybound side is what you're going to predominantly be on. But by late game, when most of you are going to be just top decking, you're not playing cards as much. Sometimes you might just even pass, and I think nightbound will be a lot more of the common phase. So I do think you have to evaluate some of these flip cards in the sense of like early into late game. When do you want to draw them? So just keep that in mind as you're going forward. All right, so let's go ahead and look at how the deck shaped up, and then let's get into some gameplay. And alrighty, after drafting, here is the deck. All right, we got 49 cards. That means we got 9 cuts to make. We need to look over. Honestly, we did very well for ourselves. I didn't realize, looking back at it, we did pretty decent. Now, going over, I want to make sure that the curve is nice. Playing creatures early and often is great, especially when we're in a creature-based deck. So that also means that we do have a ton of creatures. I think we had like 27 creatures, something like that at the end of this. So I go through and I look over what can we just trim down. We can go Unruly Mob. We can definitely get that down to 1. Harvest Tide Sentry, we can do that down to 1 because we do have a lot of 2-drops. Diversify. Also, this is a great way to like figure out what works and what doesn't work. Maybe next time I might keep Harvest Tide at 2, but we'll see. We got Birdmire. We can put this down to 1. Since we're only playing 2 colors, Path of the Festival no longer is needed. Search Party Captain is something that I ended up cutting. I might actually end up playing with this. I do see some value with playing a turn 3 2/2 that draws you a card if you attack him with 2 cards. If you're playing aggressive, this is a great little creature. So we'll see some play later on, but I end up cutting this one. Same with the Cathars. We wanted to play big chonkies, and I thought that was just a better way to do it. And also the Soul Guide Griffin got the boot because I thought I wanted to have the 5/5 and the 6/5 as my creatures right there. And was there anything else that we cut? Oh yes, the Celsius Sanctifier. This card is bad, and I did not like it. And let's take a look at the deck post changes. And post changes, here we go. 40 card deck, 17 land, tons of creatures, great little curve, as you can see right there. Tapers off to our big lad at the end. I was overall impressed with how decent we ended up drafting. Sometimes when you get through the draft, you don't know how it is until the final product. We did have some tough cuts. Again, like I said earlier, there might be a few things that I would play around with later on, like adding a few of those search parties, maybe a second century. But let's get into some gameplay and see how this set drafts. And all right, we're on to some gameplay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look over a video of some of the key moments in my draft, either good or bad, because I do also need to highlight some of the stuff that my opponents did well, to showcase some things that maybe give you a better idea of what to look for in draft, especially if you're in green, white, or as you'll see with my opponents, some key black cards that are really good in the set. So this first one, I want to show off how easy it is to get off Coven. Really good opener. Top deck that green source like you do, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to enable Coven, and also it just puts on so much pressure to go wide, and especially on a 3/1 pseudo unblockable with a lot of the 1 and 2 power toughness creatures that opponents do like to play early. With the dual crafting trainer, Double Strike is a hell of a clock, and you'll see that they ended up playing one themselves, and we see that Double Strike in action. Also, how easy it is just to splash key and Coven enablers, even in not the Coven blue or green white deck. They're playing white black, and they were able to easily get Coven unlocked. So don't stray away from doing Coven. If you see some good ones, like the ones that get the 4-mana 3/3 with first strike, and then also gets double strike. So there we go, bada bing, bada boom. We're into another game. This one's to showcase how day-night cycles work. So my opponent played a werewolf creature that had daybound, so we're instantly now caring about how many spells we cast per turn. And this is where I'm making the decision of I don't want to face a 4/4 trampler, so I'm contemplating, like, do I play my Duel for Dominance now? I need to play something, otherwise it's going to flip. Now, this is the cool key thing that I like about this daybound nightbound cycle, is that it does make you have to have that inner decision of when do I want it to be day and when do I want it to be night. Now, I don't want it to be night on their turn, because then they start getting the key advantage to probably take away and run away with the game. So we decided to keep it day, and we don't care about it being night when we're ahead. So as you'll see, we're going to go ahead, and I believe we top deck a land to play our Burly Breaker. And when Burly Breaker flips, it becomes an 8/7. And in that moment, we are the key player. Like, now it's on my opponent to flip it back to daytime to make it a less scary 6/5. Still a good creature, but as you'll see, my opponent decided not to play anything, and then boom, it's nighttime, and then we just respond back by playing another nightbound creature that is really good. And this is also to showcase how powerful this pack later is. It literally came down 6 mana, 11 power on the flip side. So great. Also, when you attack, you get 2 more wolves. It is an absolute bomb. And again, this is where it's on my opponent to flip the back to daytime. So the day night stuff is going to be extra little onion, layer of the onion that we need to crack. And I am super uh, excited with the little bit of this like inner gameplay. So this is the final game. This is an unfortunate one where we did not come away with it, but this is to showcase how good some of the black creatures are in this set, especially cards like Siege Zombie. When you get into stalled board states like this, boom, they're doing 2 damage a turn just because they have some decayed zombies. Use these decayed zombies as resources. View them as like energy in Kaladesh or otherwise. They can accrue value. And then they played probably one of the best black cards, black uncommons in the set, Morbid Opportunist. This one, whenever a creature dies, they get to draw a card. Perfect for these decayed zombies because they are guaranteed to die. So again, a resource, you're trading a 2/2 that's going to die post-combat for a card. Perfect. This also triggers on each turn. I did not realize this, so I end up, I believe, swinging in and giving them another Morbid Opportunist trigger that I did not want to give them. But I didn't end up swinging, okay. But again, this is where Siege Zombie starts putting on the clock, and that's also going to force me into bad swings because, again, I can't just sit here and take 2 a turn, possibly 3 a turn later on. So this game is a moment where I start creeping in where my opponent has me checkmated. Then I'm not really doing much. Okay, there we go. There's the death. And they get to trigger at the end of their turn another card draw. So this card, make sure that your hand is full and whatnot. And I believe they bring in the backbreaker right here. And this is when I knew we were just absolutely dead. No coming back from it. Which is going to be... Oh, no, we're a little bit early. Sorry. But Soul, Guide, Griffin, who cares? But again, this is using the zombie as a resource. I go ahead and block, but they're going to get a card draw anyways. And this is where, you know, when your opponent draws 5, 6 extra cards over you, it's only a matter of time. And then also the board state is starting to flip over into their favor, where they can just sit back, Siege Zombie, bada bing, bada boom, doesn't matter what I do. Even my removal feels bad because I'm giving them a card, so I'm not even accruing card advantage. This was a very well done deck. If you are looking for a good style deck, I highly recommend putting in at least 1 or 2 Siege Zombies. Do not sleep on that pick. And there we go. There's Lisa the Forgotten Archangel, the backbreaker. At this point, there was definitely no coming back. They have way too much pressure in the air. Also, now when I kill their stuff or when they kill their stuff dies, they get it back. My stuff goes to exile. So if I did have some graveyard synergies, which I don't really have a whole lot in this deck, I just die. But overall, I really enjoyed this draft. It was great. I ended up going 6-3, and we'll see some of the packs that I get at the end. But if you like this video, comment down below. Tell me how you are doing in this draft format. How you're liking the set, what cards you're excited for. Like and subscribe. And you know what? We're going to catch you on the next video. And we're going to let this, you know, the packs play out. We get some cool stuff. And yeah, we'll see you later.